A beanie? What's that? A hat? Crazy, funky, junky hat. Overslept, hair unsightly, trying to look like Keira Knightley. We've been there, we've done that. We see right through your funky hat. You were saying?
Hey guys, it's Julie here. So I wanted to talk about this video that has gone viral on TikTok of a reporter reporting in her natural hair, which people deemed untidy. So basically, she got bullied till her employers had to shut off the comments to prevent the outpour of negativity on the video. So in this video, I'm going to play you two clips for analysis about natural hairstyles and when certain hairstyles are not appropriate. Let's start with the reporter, and this is what she looks like with her hair.
For those servicing the wealthy on the East End, affordable housing could still be impossible to find. One developer sees a chance to change this with targeted workforce housing, caters to hospitality workers and essential workers like teachers, police officers, and government employees. Currently, Mark Antonio already has support from several candidate hotspots and regions 8 restaurant routes. Still, he needs the town's green light on several code changes to make the development profitable. But some government officials remain skeptical on how to avoid abuse. Meanwhile, some businesses say they are spending nearly 6 figures to house key staffers like executive and sous chefs nearby. Workers unable to now drop housing included are left to pay eye-watering rents or Hampton's trade parade.
So that's what the reporter's natural hair looked like, and she basically got dragged to filth for it. I'm just going to give my honest take on this video. Looking at a still shot of the reporter, I would think that she was caught on camera on a windy day and that the wind was just blowing her hair every which way. But it seems like that's the actual style she has voluntarily put it in, as I've seen another picture of her floating around where she has her hair in similar hairstyle. I think what's actually peculiar about this case is that many natural hair girlies can relate to having people ask you, hey, when are you going to style your hair when your hair is already done? So it's like, what happens when a woman's natural hair objectively looks like it could do with some styling, but to her it's already done? And where do we draw the line between wanting to look good with our natural hair and texturism? And who are we to tell someone that their hair isn't done? Because I've seen some arguments where people are saying, oh, she wouldn't be getting this treatment if she had looser hair or straight hair. And here are my honest thoughts on this matter. So I think what it comes down to is, do I think her hair could have been styled differently or better? Yes. Seeing that it's a style she purposely did makes me a little surprised because I just thought she was having a bad hair day when I saw this video. So here's the thing. I love natural hair. I want black women to see the value in their natural hair. I think the hair that grows out of our heads is the best hair for black women. But I also believe in styling and managing our hairs while working and promoting our amazing hair textures. I'm happy that our employers didn't have a problem with her showing up to work like this, and I know that certain legislations like the Crown Act had to be put in place for moves like this to be possible, which is all great. But I think there is a slippery slope. I think that when representing natural hair, especially wearing your natural hair as one of the few black girls with natural hair in such spaces, it would be great to actually put in effort in promoting it as beautiful and professional. I mean, she's reporting on news and quite efficiently too, but it seems like her hairstyle or lack of one has overshadowed what she's supposed to be reporting on, and it's all that people can focus on. Her employers are probably giving her side eyes with the amount of people talking about the hair instead of the news she's reporting on. You can't simply roll out of bed in the morning and shrug on your outfit and go to work in your bed hair and say that's just your natural hair and everybody should accept it. And I'm not saying that's what the reporter did. I've watched some other creators speak on this, like Coffee Cuties, and I think the natural hair community is kind of torn on this particular situation. On one hand, there is an obvious need to push for the embracing and loving of natural hair in spaces it typically wouldn't have been allowed in before, which is great and is what the natural hair community aims for. And on the other hand, it raises the question of, do we exempt ourselves from actually trying to look polished and professional in formal spaces like other women have to, simply because we have natural hair? To me, this is the equivalent of a white woman showing up to work with her hair straight out of bed after a rough night without bothering to even run a brush through it. I've seen clips of white women obsessing over how their hair looks on camera enough to know that just because their hair is straight doesn't mean they are not held to any standards in appearing professional. We push for embracing natural hair in its natural state, but is it enough to just wear the hair on your head as is without making any effort? Again, I'm not saying the reporter in this video did that. Of course, it's a good thing that our employers are not showing signs of discrimination with natural hair. But again, where most people are torn is, does this mean any hairstyle goes for the professional world just because it's natural? Can I show up to work with my hair looking like this and expect everyone to just accept me and mind their business because it's a natural hairstyle? Other races of women make effort with their hair when it comes to professional settings. They are especially strict with how their hair appears on camera and only want it to look its best, polished and presentable self, and I don't think black women should be exempt from it. You don't have to alter your texture in order to make your hair presentable or to look styled, but putting in effort to look professional is something that is required from women of all races. I believe natural hair can be professional. That's why I'm even making this commentary in the first place. Now, did her hair in that clip look professional? No. I think it looked like she was having a bad hair day. A really bad hair day. The thin line is, what happens when someone is picking on you simply because of your hair texture? Then that's texturism. Simple. If I have my hair in a low bun or packed properly or styled properly and someone still has a problem with it, then it's not about the hairstyle. It's about the hair texture. If someone with similar hair texture can get away with a particular style, but I can't, then it's texturism, which is not okay. For this woman, I think people would still raise brows if that was a white woman at work with her hair every which way like that. But we'll talk about people, and by people, black women who take things overboard when criticizing natural hair. Some of you don't know how to stay on code or when to stop, and you'll fuck up another woman's bag just so you can be funny and condescending online for a few likes. When it's time to laugh at a bad natural hairstyle, you lot will assemble like the Avengers in your bad wigs and bad attitudes. But we'll come back to that. Now, what do I define as professional? I think having hair that distracts a good majority of the people who you may be seeking to pitch to, sell to, or report to in workspaces can be deemed as unprofessional. As a woman with big, thick afro living in Nigeria, I still get a lot of comments and admiration with my hair when I step out like this. It's beautiful, yeah, but I wouldn't wear such hairstyle to work or in a place where I'm trying to stay low-key because it's proven to be distracting. It's a head turner. On my Pinterest board, I have a section called Natural Work Hairstyles. They are hairstyles that conform to the general work environment aesthetic. They are not all up in my face, too big or ostentatious or distracting. They are still quite beautiful hairstyles because I can't help that my natural hair is so dope, but they wouldn't necessarily have people in a frenzy if I have to stand and report on news. Do I still get admiration? Sure. But there is a massive difference when I have my hair in one of these styles than when I have my massive afro out. Of course, I think people with shorter hairs can still get away with wearing afros to work because the style isn't as loud. Get it? Because of the volume. Get it? Okay, never mind. But the point is, I believe that different spaces and occasions require different hairstyles and manners of presentation. The way I would dress to the club is not the way I would dress to a church, for instance. I think how she chooses to wear her hair in her free time is her business. I still think this hairstyle objectively looks slept on. Literally. As in, she woke up and just headed straight to work with her hair like that. And I think if it can be said for women of other races, it can be said for black women. Going back in time, our ancestors took great care and pride in their hairs. They always had it in one intricate hairstyle or the other. A woman's hairstyle said a lot about her. From my research in African tribes, women had thorough routines when it came to caring for hair, and it was almost a communal effort to keep a woman looking good. Talk about fixing another woman's crown. In fact, if your hair wasn't styled, people assumed such a woman was mad. They took great pride in hairstyling and beautification. So it's not like it's a Western imposed standard for black women to actually take effort in styling their hairs. Now, it's a sensitive subject because of the history that comes with black hair. With colonization came loss of natural hair pride. We always have to take that into account. People fought, bled, and cried for natural hair to be legally acceptable. When criticizing how a woman at work showed up with her natural hair, especially when our employers don't seem to have an issue with it, we have to be delicate. That's what I mean by some of you have big mouths and fast fingers. It's not a competition for who can roast the most or who can get the most likes on their comments. I don't have screenshot of what the comments on TikTok looked like before they shut it off, but you can imagine how crazy it was for them to have to step in. When I say on code, I mean be a sister and not be quick to want to one-up a woman that's doing something so important. She's able to show up with her natural hair and that should count for something. She's opening doors even if you can't see that. So what's the point of dogpiling? To the point that when you open the comments and see so many people already saying something condescending about her hair, you just have to put that one comment of you saying something condescending about her hair. There are already so many people saying she could have styled her hair differently. Is your one nasty comment really that vital to the plot? There is a big significance and cultural impact of a black woman wearing her natural hair in places like that, and other black women should have enough sense to not be too harsh and loud while at it. You could have DM'd the reporter privately to give your tips if it was that serious, or stopped before it got toxic. But then again, the loudest and harshest criticisms of natural hair comes from other black women. And my theory is that wig worshipping gives all this audacity to have the excruciating need to nitpick natural hair. No, I'm serious. You could have a strand of hair out of place and a woman in a scary wig will ask you why you didn't use hair control on your bushy hair. I'm willing to bet that 80% of the women dragging her wear wigs 90% of the time. Now I'm going to play another video of a different black woman experiencing similar treatment because of the state her hair was in.
Okay, so it's dark, but I'm really heated right now, and it's just like, damn, like I can't even be black at a fucking HBCU. So, you know, I'm trying to go to my boyfriend's room real quick, right? And so when I go to my boyfriend's room, I just see these two girls that are in this little common area space looking at me outside the window, and they just staring at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? So they keep staring at me so fucking hard that to the point that they're bringing everybody, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you staring at me? And so since he's staring at me, right, I go in, I do what I gotta do, and I come out. But when I'm passing by them, when I'm trying to leave, they said, don't stare, look at my friend, ho. I'm like, bitch, what? Hold on, you're not talking to me. I go back, I'm like, excuse me, are you talking to me? She was like, oh, was you looking? No, I wasn't looking, I was minding my business until you said something. And I was like, why did you do that? She was like, oh, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought you was a crackhead. And I was like, why, because of my hair? And she was like, yeah. I can't wear my hair at 12 a.m. like this onto my boyfriend's room. Okay, this school is so fucking mean.
Honestly, I think her hair looked very untidy. True. But I think we have to not eliminate nuances when discussing topics like this. We have to take into account that it's past midnight, you are in a dorm where you don't live, looking rough and closed off, and there is that curiosity at first from other people wondering if you even belong there. People will judge you first on how you look. I've had instances where I thought someone was crazy based on their appearance. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. They didn't have natural hair, but the overall vibe, the way they looked, and their energy, I had to cross to the other side of the road. Now, I'm not saying that she looks crazy, but from the clip she posted, it was a rough night. It looks like it was a rough night for her. I think after the girls saw that she was not belligerent, they actually let her be. But at the end of the day, no one wants to be on the receiving end of that. You don't want to walk into a room and have people asking you if you're a crackhead or giving you stares and things like that. Could the state of her hair have contributed to how people took her? Absolutely. I think that was the main pointer probably. And now I'm saying this as a natural hair lover, but I also believe in being for real. Strange faces in dorms at midnight while looking rough may get you stares and whispers. But one thing to note is the difference in treatment. While rough straight hair might get a few stares and snide comments, rough fussy hair can almost get you jumped or get you to lose your job. And that's the line we cross that we shouldn't cross. The same grace you give women with other textures to have bad hair days should be given to women with kinkier hair. I also am a great believer in taking care with your looks and appearance because the way of the world is to value outer appearance over interior. We are visual beings at the end of the day, extremely shallow for the most part, and that's also as a way to protect ourselves. No one sees a dirty or unkempt person outside and says, oh, let me go make friends with him, I bet he has a great personality. No, your first thought is everything okay at home? Should I hightail it out of here? Am I safe? There are of course racial paradigms where black people in white dominated areas will get treated like that regardless of appearance, because like everything in life, there are nuances. But sometimes we just have to call a spade a spade. If I want to have my natural hair out and it chooses not to cooperate with me on that day, I usually have a headband or a headscarf to the rescue. Because at the end of the day, there is self-acceptance and then there is putting effort in self-appearance. I also saw this video about this same girl, which I thought was really interesting. One day, We will talk about black women's need to show up with their natural hairs, looking their most busted and unkempt selves, then making efforts in their appearance when it's time to throw a wig on. All those TikToks where you have your natural hair on and it's like the before and then you transition and you have a bust down on. The irony is not lost on me. You know you can wear your makeup and nice clothes with your natural hair too, right? You know it's not prohibited to actually style and make your natural hair look good, right? You also know that people are not obligated to find your hair attractive when it's clearly about to die from dehydration, right? Anyways, the moral of the story is people are very visual. Look good, feel good, be good, and most of all, be kind, okay? That's my take on this. I would like to know your thoughts. My question is, when does it stop being texturism and just straight up realism? Don't forget to like this video if you like it and subscribe too. I'll see you in my next one. Okay, bye.